perfect, perfect. Yeah, so just for just to remind everybody, what we're gonna do is basically short VOD reviews is gonna be around 15 minutes long, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I will try to do as many as possible. We have time to do every possible VOD during this 1 hour, and for anyone who will want to watch the recording later, you guys can watch it on the Academy, or there's gonna be the link, which... Oh, actually, no. There's gonna be no link in the notes. There's just gonna be... Yeah, I'll just upload it on the only Academy. Should be all good there. Okay, but yeah, you guys can put in your name in the chat and whatever the game you want me to review. Let's start with that. I will mainly focus on fundamentals. That's what I usually do. I'm not gonna dive into too many micro details. And yeah, okay, I see a few names already. Let me just copy paste all of those to the wheel of names, and we should be good to start. Okay, we got Deco Flak, we got Trafalgar, and we also got Zirachiel or Zirachiel. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I really don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, you don't know? That's okay. How you would pronounce it?
I usually say Zirachiel.
Zirachiel. Okay, perfect. That sounds good. And there's also one more. Just give me 1 second. Fumiata, sure. Oh, that's the Angela
Hey,
player
Fumi.
we watched before. Yeah, I remember. A pretty good Angela. Okay, let me take a look. We got...
Yeah, that game was an OT game with top 500 players.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Ooh,
maybe,
nice.
maybe. I think it was maybe it was Bro. Oh, there was Academy Brawl Academy. Yeah, exactly. There was
Oh,
the
you
one.
watched that?
Yeah. We did the water review on those games, I think. So there was.
I hit since then I've hit One Above All for the first time.
That's
Nice,
incredible. That's really good to hear. Yeah.
Only
yeah.
playing games left.
Yeah, really good character, and I think if you do everything correctly with her, just displacing people, putting them inside of your kill box, maybe trapping them in as well, I think this is really good. Yeah, okay, are we gonna have anybody else? Oh, there's one more, Kex. Okay, perfect. Oh, also I need to put Zirachiel twice. By the way, guys, if you're attending those for the first time, let me know. I will put in your name twice. I think, Fumiata, can you remind me, are you attending this for the first time? Or is it gonna be your second time? I don't remember, I guess.
I don't remember. I don't know if you've done VOD for me.
Yeah, okay,
not
that's fine. That's fine. No worries. Okay, let's just put in... I think there've been no what for you before. I'm just gonna put in your name twice. That's what I found. That's what I try to do, just for anyone who is attending the replays first. I think that works the best. Okay, I've also got Cax. I think we've done one for Cax before, if I'm not mistaken. And, yeah, I think we all set. Oh, is there's one more? Oh, no. I think that's it. That's it. Okay, we got 5 people. I put in the name for Zirachiel and Fumiata twice. Should be all good. Is anybody else who wants to join the list? Let me know. Okay, for now, let's just spin. Let's just start with whatever game. Okay, who we got? We got... Seems we got Cax in here. Right, perfect. I'm gonna remove their name, and we gonna start with the codes in here. In Wiz Diamond 3 Spider Island. Okay, do you have any notes for this game? Do you remember just anything what stands out? What do you want me to focus on more?
I mean, in Invis, I've not played her much in the last season. I mainly played Rockets, so I'm kind of rusty on her, and I have a very low win rate on her, so there's probably a lot of things I'm doing wrong, even though I got SVP.
I see. That's okay. So we kind of want to focus on whatever, the biggest thing, whatever I'm gonna notice, I guess. That makes sense. Okay, can you remind me of what is your name in here?
Joe Miller.
John Miller. Okay, perfect. Well, let's just start with... Yeah, I want to make sure that everything's working. Okay, the recording should be working too. All right. If there gonna be any issues with the stream, let me know, guys. But yeah, let's just Let's just start with this one. Well, with most of the supports, what we've been focusing on most of the time is just what our attention is on. That's what I talk about the most. So you're able to support the active members on your team, but at the same time, there's a big thing for the Invis woman because of your pool. Yeah, you can push and pull the enemy. I think this is really important that you disable the activity of the enemy team too. Whoever takes really aggressive angles, whoever takes really aggressive position, you want to try to mess up the engagements as much as possible. So let's take a look and see how the fight plays out first. Okay, we're starting out in the main. This is the usual area to start with. Okay, going for the rush and the choke, that's okay. And well, there was Angela pushing our team. Let's just pull back a little bit. I wonder how we use this. Yeah, the Vortex is pretty interesting ability too, I think. It's just, most of the time, you can use it for the pressure, but what matters the most is that if we're able to use it at the right time, I think what you're looking for, most of the time, if we talking about this, just any ability, honestly, is just whenever the enemy team is trying to push towards your space, which your team likes to control, then you can kind of shut down anybody inside of that space, so to speak. If my area we want to control is going to be this choke, then once the enemy will approach pushing so the choke, then we can try to just disable the activity there, and they basically going to have a dilemma. They either have to pull back and get a lot of damage from this, or they will push forward and take a lot of damage from you. So I think whenever you do this sort of stuff, make sure there's more commitment. I think this here is decent, but I'm not sure. I maybe would expect, make sure these guys just commit towards the choke a little bit more before you use this. This is still pretty decent because they sort of posturing aggressively in here, and this guy over here, they've been pretty low too. So can make sense, but I think when the brawl phase starts, it's so important that once there's a bigger commitment, we start with something, and your pool as well. And I think it's especially important when the Angela walked in. Let me see. I think it's just gonna be right here. Yeah, they, I think, tried to look for the little off angle in here. It just actually went. Let me see what their location was. Yeah, they exactly tried to flank you at this point. I think this is something what you're gonna be aware of too all the time, because this is going to be the most aggressive angle on here. Just trying to displace this at the best possible time, I think, is great. By the way, because we have Fimiata here, what do you think messes up your engagement a lot if there's an Invis woman versus you? How do you usually... What is the most awkward timing to be caught with the Angela when you do this sort of stuff? What do you think? If you ever do this, of course.
Yeah, that guy's deep. So if you're in like not LOS of your healers, then you can't really engage at all. So
Yes.
this guy could be punished really easily. Yeah, like look what the cart has even moved
Yes, it's
towards the
really-
lane. So
yes.
this is very bad positioning for him. So if you use your abilities on him, he should die.
Yeah, so it's kind of just to use it whenever here, pretty much.
So all her abilities basically make Angela useless. So if she's going for a target, like say she goes for the Jeff right there, you could put her shield right there, and she'll be slowed like permanently. Yeah, your shift, your pull can work here. Any of the abilities.
Yeah. So and this is then really important to just, in my experience, I usually like whenever there's sort of commitment, if we know that this guy's ready trying to either use their abilities. It just doesn't matter who you play against. It's gonna be them committing some sort of cooldown. If you can mess it up, really, I think back in the days we did this review of the Invis women on Cypher, where they just been so good at just displacing the Wolverine, displacing the Salak, and just at any time when they're posturing aggressively, they're about to do damage, and we mess that up. That's really good. So yeah, this is number one thing. So this is one thing. Yeah, disabling the aggressive angle. Make sure you actually doing that, because this guy, well, indeed pretty deep. And another thing, I would say with the shift, well, I call it shift, but let's call it how is that called actually? I always forget the names of the abilities.
Bionic burst.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. So once you're looking for this kind of burst too, and this is also possible to disable any sort of killable target. Besides, when we using that let's just say, control the space where most of our team likes to play, yeah, I would say just more commitment happens. You can use it, sort of like, in my opinion, if anybody who's been playing Overwatch, like a May wall, in a way, the guys walk in, we place it slightly behind, then they have to take damage, either from this ability or they have to take damage from your space. But yeah, it's also possible to just disable any sort of aggressive dives, anybody who's going really deep. But I think you just gotta use the ability. In here, it just seems that we need to commit for the pool exactly a little bit more, it feels. Okay, anyway, we keep playing this main angle. Right now, the Angel is out, and you guys gotta pick. It seems you should be able to stabilize even maybe with a Groot wall in here too. Should be all good. Okay, sure, but just keep the damage up in here. And right now, again, this is the time for you to exactly be careful about this. I think you need to also try to actively ask yourself where this exact angle is going to be, like the most aggressive angle. It's always going to be you pressing the tab and just answering the question, who is going to take which angle. So you can, first of all, put a little bit of pressure on this guy, and second, you will be ready to displace them with your abilities and maybe just damage them a little bit. Because here, this is something what you're responsible for, I think. There's an invisible woman here. You also hear the flight. It's making the noise. It's actually pretty loud, in my opinion, most of the time. Like, there's this noise when they do this. Yeah, it's exactly for you the time to start paying attention to it. Yeah, does all of this make sense, Gax? Or, yeah, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think I was trying to look for like the moments to push and pull her and like use my vortex on her. I just missed the timing a lot.
Yeah, I think most of it really, the timing can be fixed if we exactly work about, and it's two things to anticipate. It's just one gotta be the location of the target. Like, try to always predict where this guy's gonna be. I usually say, well, whenever you're in the fight, you're gonna be asking yourself, are they taking an off angle? If yes, which one is that gonna be? Angela is pretty mobile, so they can be flexible. Let me see. I think they went above the roof in here, or maybe like around. What was their plan here? So this kind of start on the main, go here. Oh, so they went to the building on the left. Yeah. So just always trying to ask yourself where she is, trying to scout for that location, and you can pre-poke that too, to be honest, if you have the downtime too. And yeah, after that you will be ready. I think this is one location. Second is just being aware of the big cooldowns, really. Whatever you can mess up, whatever the big things are gonna be on the enemy team. For example, it might be even honestly just anything what they use. It can be the invincibility of Emma Frost. They use this diamond form. You can displace her after. Maybe there's gonna be Namor taking an off angle, maybe enemy Moon Knight taking an off angle too. Doesn't matter, just anything big what we can displace, I think is pretty big. Something what stands out to me right away. Yeah, I know we just really at only this first fight, but this is really important in my opinion. Being aware with all your abilities what my attention is going to be on, so it will be easier for you guys to punish all of that. And the timing of it is just matter so much. Yeah, it's just so these guys will be exactly stuck inside of your zone. You see, you're sort of trying to do it here. Yeah, like we're trying to exactly go for the ability in here, but it's just a little bit too late. Yeah, we need to make sure that once they make a commitment, your team can punish. I think that would be much easier. Right. Well, we honestly, I know we talked a lot about this first fight, but yeah, do you have any questions about anything specific right now? Anything, what are you interested in more, or is everything make sense? Yeah.
What do you think of my positioning? Because with Invis, I don't really know like how to take like an angle that's like safe for me, so I don't take too much damage. But it's also that enables me to like damage the enemy with my piercing.
Yeah, so generally speaking, in my opinion, for the Invis, you need to try to take not too deep angles. It's usually going to be a softer angle. Softer angle is anywhere where you're relatively close to your team, and the good indicator is going to be your space, I think. If you recognize that you press in the space bar and you can get in towards your team, you're gonna be safe pretty much, kind of away from your team. Let's say this one space away. Oh well, I'm calling it space bar, but yeah, I'm talking about this escape. Yep. Whenever you press in this, you get invisible, and you also get a little bit of height and momentum this way. Yeah, you can be pretty much one ability away, one defensive ability away, and your goal is to not really try to even go towards your team. It's just sort of like a good indicator for you to know if something really, really bad happens. If I cannot stay at my position, at my soft angle, then I can use that ability. And with soft angles, it's usually going to be more longer range and sharper sightlines too, in my opinion. What sharper sightline is, it's you need to anticipate where the fight is going to be. For example, if I expect that the enemy team is going to be fighting this choke in here, and then you exactly know what kind of location they will be hiding towards, yeah, where there will be, what kind of cover they will be using. You're trying to position aggressively, kind of try to take more sharp angle on that exact cover. So if they will be trying to hide, let's say they're trying to push around this cover, well, this is usually not destroyed, yeah, and let's say they're pushing around in here, that means you go right side a little bit. You try to push that space in a way, making sure it's making it so much harder for them to hide. If they're gonna go right side, let's say for whatever reason they're gonna be using this building as their cover, then you go left side most of the time. And meanwhile, you're supporting your team too. That's how I usually would put it. So soft, long range, and sharp sideline angles, while being one defensive ability away, your jump away. If that makes sense. Yeah, is that clear enough?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I would say so, because ideally, you also don't want to be on the objective right away as a support too. You usually want to give an enemy team a dilemma too. They either have to deal with you or the cart, and this is important that you not just being stuck together with your team, but still taking an angle. It's just gonna be softer, in my opinion. You're usually not able to go as aggressive. Maybe sometimes you can. It's just when you have your ultimate, but I'm not sure if you really need that most of the time, because this ultimate provides so much sustain for the rest of your team. But technically, this could be done sometimes. Like if you guys, any of you played Overwatch, the I don't know, supports like Lucio, Zenyatta, when you have defensive ability, you could just go really like take deeper angles, and because the enemy team is pushing you, you take so much attention. So after that, when all the attention goes to you, and maybe somebody with you too, when you're on that deep angle, you can ult and stay alive. And meanwhile, your second group can push in somewhere. This is what I may be thinking about as well, but it's pretty rare. I think most of the time you're kind of playing with your core. You're really good at just enabling the brawlers in general. You have a lot of sustain. I think our class before, we talked about how to play brawl properly, and Invis women is so good. It's just kind of stacking together with your team a little bit. When they have more brawlers too, like the Groot, I would say it's pretty decent you to support. But yeah, at the same time, soft angles. Yeah, okay. I know we have been at this first fight for really long, but hope all of that is useful. And if you have any questions later, let me know. I think we can do a quick review on any other character. Is that sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. If you're gonna have any more questions, let me know. All right, let's do the quick spin. Let's go. We'll focus on the fundamentals as we wanted to. Okay, we're most likely will get Fumiata. I'm not sure what well, in terms of mechanics, I'm 100% I'm not gonna be the person to give the feedback if it's gonna be about the Angela, since you're the number one Angela here, but we can maybe do more discussion on what we could be doing better. Maybe it's positioning, maybe it's timing. Yeah, since you're hearing the voice, I think there's gonna be something what we can do. Right. Yeah, do you have any specific notes about this game, Fumiata? Angela close game with top of 100. Yeah, I see that you mentioned that.
No, it's just it was an OT game, so it was really close. Like I'm sure we were playing well, but there's probably like what is it? like the small things that we could have done different.
Makes sense. Okay. Well, so we starting just right from the start, or is there any specific fight or any specific time, well, any specific point which you're interested in more?
No, we can start from the start.
Okay, perfect.
Go from the start.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So most of the time, for anyone who just joined in the stream, maybe gonna watch the recording later on too. Generally speaking, in my opinion, that's what I've seen a lot. What's the Fumiata been doing too, and I talked about that in our one of the classes about the Angela. As soon as I saw her kit, a really good character in terms of displacing the enemy and just being able to, at the same time, while we're displacing somebody, trying to grab the attention. Meanwhile, you don't have too much sustain, in my opinion, compared to the other tanks, but if you're able to time the pressure right, and you do it for the right space, and you push the right angles, let's put it this way. If you're pushing the most important, the valuable angles, I think you can do a lot, generally speaking. Yeah, let's watch. I really like the patience in here. A little angle. I really like the pressure. Oh, yeah?
Sorry, real quick. I'm Degaluk. You can take my name off. Something came up and I gotta go.
Oh, it's all good.
Appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, do you want me to review your game still? Oh, sorry, you
I
mentioned...
mean, yeah, I have to go.
That's okay, that's okay. Yeah, just in case if you... Yeah, it's alright, that's alright. I will take out the name then, yeah.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Alright, so right away. We are on this off angle here. I think this is great, to be honest. Use a tank, in my opinion, and for me in general, because I've been playing tank a lot too in Overwatch. I've just been able to get top 10 with that too back in the days. I think the most important thing is always try to push the most aggressive angle, and in my opinion, this here is pretty good. I like the patience. Your team is posturing a little bit kind of passively. They have to play a little bit on the back, so I think it's good to just wait for the moment when your second group is ready, and after that we can kind of pull this target in towards your team. I think that makes sense. After that, instantly looking for the setup most likely, but let me see what we're looking for. So this is something what I'm curious about. What are you aiming to do right after you displace this guy? What's your thought process? Is it just try to repeat the same stuff, just put a little bit of pressure on the enemy team, or what's the...
When I displace somebody, I either try to add the additional damage that my team can't add to kill them, or I go and just pressure the enemy team, like the people that are trying to like shoot or heal. The target that I pulled.
Yeah, makes sense. So you're just kind of looking to do a little bit of pressure towards the cart in here, it seems, right?
My thought process on this map, always on this cart, is to stall as long as possible on this first choke.
Okay.
Because there's a med pack on the right building, there's a med pack on the left building, there's a med pack on the left top, and then by their spawn there's another med pack. So I have a whole route that I use.
Is there any specific timings you're looking for when touching the card, or is it just purely based on the card's location? Do you look at any of your team members, what are they doing at the moment, stuff like that, or
here, if my team comp is different, where like they need me more in the core, I will play with them. But here generally I just play with the cart because of the med packs, so I don't need my supports for the most part.
Yeah, makes sense. I guess I wonder as well about the other abilities, just anything what can add to you grabbing the attention and stalling the card, because I think this is great in here. If you're able to do that for as long as possible, especially with the comp given, you have, I think, there are a lot of capabilities for you to just kind of poke out the enemy, maybe get a pick, especially with Hawkeye. I think this is great. Maybe a Star-Lord can do something on the angle too, but I think this is there's a lot of potential for the poke in here. My opinion of what is really important, just finding those accurate timings where my team is also able to do the poke a little bit. And if you are able to, you just constantly trying to track which angle my team takes, especially at them. Let's say the most aggressive members, the members who can do the most, and maybe it's just a slight thing for me, and I'm curious what you think, but to me it feels that if we wait just 2 seconds, then my Hawkeye can do damage. Maybe not 2, maybe like 1 second. Then it means my Hawkeye can do damage here, and meanwhile, my Star-Lord will be able to do damage as well, and it's gonna be more confident in a way. We're kind of absorbing pressure, controlling space, we're still storing the card, but meanwhile, there's a chance that we might get a little bit better resource trade, because this guys can go in active with the damage. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
think could be a little bit more patient. I tend to be too aggressive.
Yeah, because in here, I think this is great. So we kind of base our thought process on just let's try to stall the card. But I think the general habit, which we can be looking for more later on as well, is keep an eye on what are the big resources are going to be thrown in for your team, with your team. Like any big burst abilities, any sort of thing which can get a pick as well. Because this is good, but it's a lot about the context. And I personally also really know that when I was playing Winston back in the days in Overwatch, this is so important, the timing, and you store in the card, all of that matters, but it's just, if it feels that sometimes if we engage like a second later, and our team gets slightly more value, this is gonna be great. But I like the routes though. I like that you're not exactly stuck with your core most of the time. This is great. Yeah, great. Okay, we're able to take out this guy. I think this can do a lot, to be honest. It just pretty much either finding anybody from the main, or if not, in my opinion, if you're able to contest the off angle, this is always great, like you tried to do the first time. Okay, great value in here. I think now this is the time where... Oh, this is a little bit... Oh, yes? Sorry, what was that? I think there was a question or something? Oh, it's somebody joined. I see. It's probably Araz. Yeah, hello. Yeah, if you want to get your replay reviewed, then you can place the code in the chat, and I'll be glad to take a look at it too.
I'm sorry. Was I hot mic? I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe it's
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Oh, not sure. Yeah, I just heard somebody. I didn't look at the
Charge
chat. Maybe
complete.
it was you.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you. Yeah.
I think my kid might have pressed one of my buttons. I'm sorry about
That's
that.
all good. That's all good. Yeah, I just said that if you want your replay to get reviewed, you can put in the name and the code in the chat too. That's all good.
Yeah, sure. We'll do.
All right. Okay. So this one is interesting. So what's your opinion, Fimiara? We kind of went in for this next just brawl engage. It seems you guys have an advantage, but suddenly you get punished for it. What do you think you could have done better doing this one?
I could have just disengaged earlier. I just kept brawling because I was healthy, and then something took a big chunk of my HP. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah.
But, like I went from full HP with overshield to... Yeah.
I think it's this guy here, and together probably with the Phoenix too, but I'm not sure. It just seems that, yeah, there's a lot of damage. I think the idea when we brawl, and especially after when you have an advantage, this is great. It's just trying to, exactly like we talked about before, watching for our next group, like anybody who is on my team here, for example, Magneto, are they pushing in aggressively? And if yes, if the big resources can be thrown in the space, I think can be more confident. If not, if you kind of stabilizing, then maybe they can try to play cover a little bit more, and especially keep an eye on your HP. I think because you don't have as much sustain, just be careful with committing whenever your HP is half. It's just in my kind of general habit, but yeah, really, like half HP, and my group is, second group maybe is not pushing as active. Well, let's try to play cover, stabilize, and then after that you can repeat. Probably keep brawling. It could be okay, especially when there was great advantage too. Why not? We got the Magneto. Yeah, I really like all those pre-set up, the rotations, trying to catch up anybody out of position too. Okay, it seems that you guys gonna lose this one, but we're trying to stall the card. This is great. Yeah, I think it's overall, if you have a disadvantage, whenever you know, well, we're gonna lose anyway. Trying to just make sure the card is not moving at all is always gonna be great. So we maybe have a chance of touching later. Seems that, well, you guys, we were not able to. The card's really close, but I think it's alright. Just stall a little bit more time, just in case. So at least we're able to set up properly for this area in here. The second point. Right, going in, isolated target, sure, great, can work. I think you just need to be careful afterwards. Most of your team is not around, but I think with isolated targets we can go after them whenever. It's either this, or contributing to the space where most of your team is gonna be. Let's see how you do it. Yeah, I like those little angles. There's probably you trying to look to scout as well. My only thing is I like this area. I'm not sure if you can get any closer though, so it's gonna be easy for you to rotate. What are your thoughts? Is there a way, because your area, sort of where you guys gonna fight, isn't here now, and I wonder, is there a way for you to get closer, or is it gonna be dangerous? What do you think?
I have to let my team to use ults here.
Mhm.
I don't think we're gonna push through this without an ult. They already used some of theirs, so this just has to be ult fight. That's the
Yeah,
only way I see this progressing in our
Mhm.
favor.
I just
Like
wonder.
I can engage from behind as
Yep.
soon as like my tank engages,
Mhm.
and then somebody hits Q once I pull resources. But
Yeah.
that's the thought process that I had.
Yeah. No, I think this is good. I think this is good to wait for the timing of the ultimate. I just wonder, because it takes time for you to travel from here to here. Yeah, let's say we're trying to take a fight. Is there a way for you to just reduce the travel time? Maybe can you position closer anyway, even though we're waiting for the ultimate?
I can, but like they have a high mobility character like Phoenix. So like if
Oh,
I
so
get punished here, there's not a lot of like places for me to like run away and hide to. So if I get
makes
punished here,
sense.
like I would just fall deeper into their spawn, and I'm not really gonna provide value.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I think this is good to keep an eye on. Yeah, why not? Just something to think about. Maybe in general, though. Yeah, if the map allows us, then sure, we're getting closer. But I think this is good. Then if we can get punished, then I think don't. We can be patient. It's fine. I just in here because I'm not too sure. It definitely feels like really open area. I wouldn't also try to maybe get too close unless my team is using ultimate and start from here. It seems decent amount of cover. I'm not sure about this angle here. It seems a little bit awkward. Maybe when your team is around here, maybe. But well, it's. What do you think about this room, actually? What if you set up here, even though the Phoenix might be sweating, yes, she can push you, but what about here? Just kind of as a starters instead of here. Well, there's a sweep pack too, but yeah, maybe this is still gonna be the better one. But what are your thoughts?
I think the health pack is better.
Yeah, the health
Especially
pack is
since
better,
the cart
yeah.
is still so far back. I wanted to play neither cart.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I think it's really good to have the little discussion all the time. Okay. Well, our team starts in the pressure. We are going from the deep off angle here, which I think is going to be decent. Also going after anybody the more threatening and really canceling the ultimate here. I think this is great. Okay. Sure, there's ultimate from there and west. We gotta stabilize a little bit. And sure, go for ultimate in the choke. I think most of it is gonna be okay. I just need to be really careful about the rest of the core, so they're able to follow up. What do you think? Is there a way to add more value with the ultimate in here, or is this good enough? What's your
I
opinion?
just wanted to stop the Bucky from getting resets.
Yeah.
I think they overspend here to win this fight. I think that's why they win. I think they just overspend.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it. It's just most likely you either just lose this one or just try to kite, and I think kiting is definitely okay. Yeah. I just wonder maybe if there's anything else what comes to mind. But to me, it feels pretty decent. We're fighting for the exact space where your team likes to be. The chokes are usually okay. Those to stop the enemies at. This is gonna be the area where your team can do stuff. We talked about the dangerous stuff you can synchronize with. I think this is exactly the good time. You have the Star-Lord here, you have the Phoenix over here too, we have the Magneto angle. I think all of this is gonna be okay-ish. We're just kind of trapping them in the area with the big resources like we talked about initially. Yeah.
Maybe I just don't slam.
Maybe.
I mean, the Phoenix all kills me. I think it's just the overspending. They just
Yeah.
use a lot of resources.
Yeah. Because for the most part, it feels okay-ish. I only think maybe just to me, this might be a slight nitpick since it's a really high rank lobby. But I'm thinking with this peak here, it's always kind of similar to any sort of shield ability or any defensive, really. Ideally, we only want to be exposed to the space where our team likes to fight. So if we have people over here which can shoot this, then this is not ideal to us because those guys are not getting affected by the rest of your team. So you kind of, in theory, always want to have the resources for the space where most of your team is sort of able to do stuff. So yes, disable the Bucky, disable them in the choke, but maybe place it slightly more to the right. So you force these guys to peek slightly more aggressively this way. So they will be affected by the rest of your core a little bit. It's kind of like we done in Overwatch a lot about the shield placement too. Like whenever we talk about that and just exactly getting more value, it's so important that you place the shield slightly different in a way, so it's going to be exactly contributing most of it is going to be contributing to the area where your team is fighting. Maybe this is just something what I'm thinking about here, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this one? Would it be fine? Maybe place it slightly to the right as well. Maybe also, well, not slam. Maybe.
It would definitely be better if I place it a little bit to the right.
Yeah, because
I mean, the Phoenix still counters it, like she just explodes it. But
yes.
I think regardless is gone. But like in any other scenario, you're right. I need to think about that more.
Yeah, but there's a lot of great things though. Yeah, I really like watching this, to be honest. Just with all the setup before the fight, going after the most aggressive angle, you're doing really good this stuff too. If there's no aggressive off angle which you can punish, then I think just trying to pressure through the choke, trying to punish anybody who's the most frontline, like you displace the Magneto, this is great. But I think the biggest takeaway from this is going to be make sure that, first of all, you pressure based on the big resources you have. So not only have the good routes and all those stall points, this is great, but also have the context. So this adds a little bit more value. Maybe sometimes you have to wait half a second longer or like 1 second longer. And this pressure from the rest of your team, maybe there's going to be 2 angles at a time. Star-Lord together with my Hawkeye. I know they can be aggressive, and I can exactly try to stop the card at that time where they can add a little bit of damage while I keep distracting the enemy. There's a chance, well, let's say slightly higher chance they might get a pick. Maybe they will not, but yeah, this is just so important with the higher mobile characters. All the half seconds, maybe sometimes a second wait. Yeah, so this and a little bit of, well, small things like we talked about the ultimate in here, the placement, and yeah, other than that, I think it feels really good. Yeah, maybe we can watch more of your VODs later too. I know this is a pretty short one, but I just want to make sure I cover the others as well. Yeah, this is good though. Yeah, do you have any questions?
No. Thank you for the review.
Yeah. I'm glad to help. Yeah, it's something what we can definitely look for the review later as well.
Okay.
All right. Okay, we're gonna remove your name then. Okay, we also need to remove Dakoflak. We still have Zirakil, and I will put in IKK-un. Okay, do we have anyone else? I see J-Fly joined in, Mystic Shadows. If you want your replays to get reviewed, you can place your codes in the chat. Yeah. Well, let's spin the wheel then. Now. Okay, I think we're gonna get Zirakil. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm gonna remove in the second name. Let me see. Angela. Oh, this is Angela as well. Okay, well, let's try to compare. We'll compare Fimiara to your Angela. I think maybe we can talk about the fundamentals a little bit more. In our case, I think the Angela, like we talked about in here, is so important what angles you set up for. Just how do you exactly provide the pressure to. So, will be interesting to watch. Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah. I just picked up Angela like this season. I don't even know how many hours I have on her. Hours maybe, but even then, I have like 40 or so games. I'm still getting used to her. She's not
she's a very different kind of tank compared to the other ones I play. So it's just getting used to it is very iffy.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to get used. Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to landing my dashes, which is the main problem. Is that I don't have my dashes enough. But just general pathing and stuff, I'm still getting used to as well. This is like for my first time ever playing a real displacement character, so it's just this is all brand new territory for me.
That's okay. That's okay. What kind of tanks you been playing before?
I played Emma, Mag, and Groot.
Emma, Mag, and Groot. Yeah, I think those guys are pretty stationary, so it's definitely might feel like a different territory for you. It's definitely might be, but at the same time, pretty fun character. And if you have more options to just use your mobility, if there's a map which allows you to do so, maybe you have more dive options too. I think this is great. Oh, sorry, Zirakil, I think there's slight background noise on your side. Can you check this out?
Yeah, hold on.
Maybe you can also mute and unmute when you have any questions. That's also okay. I just hear there's slight noise.
Is there still noise?
I think it's gone. I think it's
There
fine,
is?
but yeah, just in case if it will appear, I'll let you know. But yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what we're doing here. Well, we are starting out our rotation, yes. Looking for deep angle. Like, I always like to call it kind of deep angle, somewhere between 90 to 180 angle. So what it is if my team is attacking here, I can try to go on this angle here, which is perpendicular to where my team is, or I can go completely in the back, which is, in my opinion, is even more frequent. Like we saw with a Fumiata, they doing that quite a lot, just trying to make sure they go from the back completely, going from 180 angle, and maybe displace somebody and push them towards our team. This is gonna be the big thing. Yeah, but anyway, let's see. Okay, trying to fight the magic. Well, some mechanical stuff in here, but then I think intention-wise it can be okay.
Yeah.
Just be careful when there's gonna be second character who will join in, because
Yeah, as soon as I saw the Angela, I decided to run.
Yeah, makes sense.
I wasn't expecting to see the magic there.
That's okay. Yeah, let's see what we're looking for afterwards. Going for the Bucky, sure. I think this can be alright. It's just like we said, go after the most aggressive angle, in my opinion. Okay, going from the back in here, sure. Yeah, this one, it feels just maybe a little bit more mechanical, trying to exactly read the pattern of their movement, like what they're gonna do, maybe even take the time. You know, especially if they're not paying attention to you, I think you don't have to rush this. Isn't tension, maybe it's okay, but you just take your time, that's one. And second, once you're gonna have big advantage, I think you're more free to try to brawl a little bit more. Let me see. Okay, how we gonna... Okay, so we miss this, sure. We're trying to go for their magic in the back, which can be okay-ish. Okay, sure. Angela's out. Okay, we got one more. We get the magic now. Now going for displacement, it seems, again. I just figured this. It feels a little bit of patience, and I also do think that with the brawling, well, maybe if Fumiata can add a little bit more. What's your opinion on brawling? To me, it always feels that when you have a big advantage, especially after you displace somebody, it's good to try to brawl after. But is there any other specific time when you look into brawling more with the Angela?
I think using her ability to brawl, like I think that's the character just in general. Like she can brawl really well, and nobody really brawls with her. People focus too much on the dive or the grabs. If you see any opportunity to brawl, you should brawl with her. Especially when it's if you're with like say you're with a DPS, or if you're with one of your tanks. If you're with anybody and you have that ability to use your E to sustain with them, then use that, because it's
Okay.
It's really good. It's game changing.
Yeah. It's just it just kind of feels like in this one there could be more brawl opportunities. Am I reading it right, or what are your thoughts? So it's kind of it feels a little bit more timings for us to exactly get more advantage with, like even just going in for it early, like when we try to pressure around here on the card, maybe when you had a big advantage after the first pool too, stuff like that. Yeah, I think there's just not, it's definitely not
Can I see the
only.
poll? Again?
Oh, yeah. I was talking about this first one especially. Let's take a look. So it's right after in here. In my okay, let me see. Well, it started. Okay, we on the magic. Now we out. Yeah. We push it back, and after that we're looking for this one on the Bucky. So we displace them. We got a pick. And what about here? Could we try to brawl now or what?
Yes, we can brawl right now.
Yeah.
All your other abilities are on cooldown, so
Yeah. Not
and you don't have a charge bar, so like brawling does more damage for her in that E mode. So you have like 3 targets right there that you can brawl.
Yeah, exactly. So gonna be a really good time. So one thing was, well, like Yumiara said, the abilities are down. Second, I think just generally speaking, is a good direction. It always felt to me whenever I played the brawl character, when you have a big advantage, there's always more chance for you to just go on a brawl mod. You don't have to set up anymore for this additional pressure to try to display somebody because. Well, display is valuable, but whenever you have an advantage, you just kind of need to maintain it anyway. And just going for the damage here, I think, is always going to be fine. Just don't even look for the flight anymore, it feels. Yeah. So exactly that. Yeah, let's maybe watch any other fight for us with just brawl and displacement timings. Okay, I wonder. Oh, this one is going to be interesting. So there's going to be this different angle after. Okay, you guys approaching through this corner. Okay, we're looking for this one. Try to displace the Angela. But there's Invis woman too. How do you usually play around the Invis woman pool? What do you do? If there's, they might displace you when you go in for this. There's also Baki hook too. What do you usually do, Fumiata?
You can
Give me one
outpace it.
second. I have to my phone is not keeping up with the stream. I'm gonna join on my computer, so it'll take me like 2 seconds.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we can wait. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, there's just so many small things you gotta be aware of too, in my opinion, just to be able to live through. All right. Yeah. Oh, you joined in?
Yeah, I'm on my computer now.
Okay, perfect. I will turn up your volume. Seems you're a little bit low on me, for me. Okay. Yeah, so what do you think? I just asked Fumiata, what do you think? How do you play around the Invis in here?
So Angela's cooldowns are very, very short. So you can outpace both Bucky and Invisible Woman's on their cooldowns. Bucky, I like to grab Bucky into my team a lot, actually. So when he doesn't have a shift, like you can grab that character out of his team into your team a lot because he's a frontline character. He plays in the core always.
What do you
Invisible
look for
Woman
it now? Sorry to interrupt.
With Invisible Woman, her push, you can outpace her push. Your cooldowns are shorter, and then her psionic burst, you can shield through it and fly through it. It just depends on like your positioning and if you have your shield up. So you have to manage your cooldowns. So every counter with Angela can counter Angela, but if you play around her cooldowns, then you can always get your grabs off. You can even dive.
Yeah, the main thing with Invis though that I've been struggling with is a lot of the Invis, like they put their shield on like someone I go and try and pull, and then it slows me down to the point where I just get in a like CC loop, and it, like screws me up. It happens very often when I play against Invis. That she just puts her shield up, and that since they added the new like if you pass through it, it slows you down. It like really messes up my ability to really do much, especially if I miss. But that's like the main thing with Invis that I struggle with. There's not really having to deal with like her push or pull.
Would you try to look for the engagement now, Fumiata? I'm just curious. Try to, like you said, try to go for the Bucky, try to go for the Invis. To me, it feels, I'm not sure, it might be a little bit early, but yeah, what do you think? Would you just look to do it right now, in your case?
And they don't even have a front line, so there's not really much to like. With this team, you can look to mark the magic, or they have an Angela themselves, so they have a weak front line. they have Bucky as their core. So what you can look to do is grab their Angela into your team and something like this.
It seems that that's what they tried to do in here. So this is viable play in this case. Then you think?
Yeah, I think grabbing. Yeah, I think you could get a grab here.
Yeah.
But just don't go too deep because they don't have a front line, so you can play
Yes.
you can play closer to your team. You don't have to play deep.
Yeah. So it's kind of what I think, just my opinion to it. Whenever you do this, it's gonna be okay-ish, but well, first off, yeah, the target priority, and also it's gonna be 180 angles, but a shorter if you can. So in your case, if you can just look to turn like this, do it really fast. I think this is great, and just exactly read the situation. Like when our team is ready, they're pushing up. I think this is great. So yeah, you don't have to exactly move too much from this location to all the way here and take a lot of poke damage, but you can kind of make it shorter out, it feels, and try to displace the guys. Because yeah, I think to me it's just maybe yeah, it's a location, and make sure that it's just maybe a second later when our team is able to do more damage in there. I think that should be decent. Well, now going for the brawl in here, sure. Okay, Bucky gets a lot of done, and the ultimate is pretty annoying, to be honest. They're really well placed, I think, for the most part. If this type of ultimates kind of around the wall, pushing the corner, this is always great. I think you can just get so much more value in here. All right, we talked a lot about this first point, but do you have any questions about NSA? Maybe any specific fight you're interested in more, or has everything been clear about what we?
Well, I know right after this fight, this is a really hard push for us, and then I don't know. I didn't really have a thing for a VOD for today, so I just pulled one up that I played today. I played like 4 games, so we ended up losing this because we try and do goats on the last one, but we didn't have 3 healers. We only had 2, so we ended up just getting overwhelmed with more damage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know like what else I really need to work on with Angela besides just getting more into the character. So I don't know.
Well, for us, based on what we saw, it feels that more better timings at when you can brawl. That's one. Just especially in my opinion, when you have a big advantage, you can go for it. Or if there's a good timings, my team can just do so much more. They can be so much more active. Yeah. And you don't have your cooldowns too, then you can go for a brawl, just high uptime. Generally speaking, I would say it's gonna be one. Second, probably just shorter rotations with all the grabs. So it just feels that we trying to look for, there's a little bit too much attention on exactly trying to displace in here, but in my opinion, the brawling could be the priority. And also, even though you do the pulls, make sure that this is going to be 180 angle, but slightly shorter one, it feels, if we can on the map. So we're not going too deep unless there's really needed to. I think with going too deep, like we saw, yeah, I think with Fumiyara, that was a good example too. They try to go in for the isolated target, which I think can be okay, because isolated target is something what you can be confident in killing, and then after that we can be back in the fight. But if we're trying to contribute to the space where most of our team is fighting, then usually our route should be pretty much just as soon as possible, kind of A to B, really short routes where it's really hard to notice you and turn around to deal with you, and make sure you do those at the right times. I think that's how I would put it. I don't know. Does it make sense? Or
Yeah, it makes sense. I understand what you're saying. Shut down my routes. The main reason why I'm not really brawling as much is because I was in a coach scrim I was in a coach scrim the other day, and we did I was playing Angela, and I got told I was brawling too much, and so like I'm trying to cut back on it because like I was like, I don't know, I was just using my ground foam when I could just to try and like finish off targets or to like stay in a fight longer, but I was just doing it too much, I guess. So I'm just trying to find the better balance of like being in the air and actually brawling out. When
Yeah.
I know I.
Let's
It's just
try
about-
to maybe at least start with this one thing, which is going to be pretty simple because yeah, it definitely makes sense. You need to kind of find a balance, what to do, when to do what. Yeah, are you brawling? Are you going in with the flight? Oh, it feels, especially with the game. I remember we watched somebody like I think there was Surefor or there was Gur on the Angela. If you've watched their gameplay, they've been swapping a lot between the flight mode and the brawl mode. And just knowing when to do what exactly is so tricky. But I think something you can start with is first of all, you're trying to establish an advantage with this pull ability. You're trying to push the enemy in. But then after that, if you already have a big advantage, then I think going more for the brawl as a starter habit can be good. And then after that, you can exactly read the triggers, which can allow you to understand that this is a good time to brawl. If we already have a decent advantage, I would say our team is around to pressure. Yeah, there's no maybe also an opportunity for us to look for the pull in towards our team. Then going for the brawl can also be fine. But yeah, you just really find the balance. You definitely don't want to get into too much brawling than too much maybe trying to do this. It's just all reading the triggers. Let's say this. You just need to identify what triggers are there exactly, and it should be good. I think if I'm not mistaken, there's gonna be actually the one the Fumiata is gonna do the masterclass and the Angel later. So maybe asking the questions just about when to do what is gonna be good. Yeah, there's just gonna be probably will be discussed in this class too. I think you can just prepare the questions there, and probably there's gonna be some sort of presentation, some sort of just answering those questions too, when to do what. Hopefully, yeah, should be good.
Yeah, that's gonna happen on the 13th, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, this what the Charlie. Yeah, I think Charlie they put in an event on the. Yeah, they did. Yeah, so it can be good.
Like
I think prepare your questions for this one. Should be all right. Okay. Well, we have time at least for one more. Okay, one more, and then we are good to end the VOD reviews. Well, we got two people. Yeah, we got two people, and yeah, I'm just gonna spin. I'm gonna do really short one because I got the I got the session going forward as well. Okay, we are okay. IKK1. Okay, we looking for advice on my Star-Lord. Perfect. Is there anything what stands out? What do you need help with on the Star-Lord at the moment? Maybe anything what do you want me to focus on more?
I think the overtimes.
The overtimes?
Yeah.
It's just when you need to stall the points, stall the card. I mean, just the last times, yeah.
No, the overtime rounds. There's like a 1 minute overtime round for every team, I think.
Oh.
Wait, more time for every team.
Let me see.
So just figuring out what can I do, because I don't have much time. Right.
Oh, interesting. So it's gonna be somewhere around here-ish, like at the end. Can you? Yeah, do you have any time?
No, like third round.
Third
third
round.
one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look. Wait, is it this one?
There.
Yeah, it seems like this one here. Okay, it takes some time to load, and yeah, do you want to watch the entire one?
I think especially the second, the other round, the fourth, but this one is also good.
Oh yeah, whatever you prefer. You wanna? Yeah, we can also watch another one.
Yeah, the fourth one, because we don't get a single kill, I think.
Yeah, it's just really all the rad. It seems okay. Let's take a look. I think. What do you think you could be doing better in here?
I think I could have spammed the tanks a little more. I think I tried to go for like off angles and going for the squishes too much. I think I could just charge my ults.
Yeah, I think with what your team comp is, especially going for the off angle, can be quite okay. I think there's just gonna be pretty difficult if we approach it from the front line right away. So in my opinion, taking the right side lane might be not too bad. You can even just have somebody with you. It can be even just the Gambit, can be Thor. Honestly, if you guys can communicate it as well, you can have one group pushing the main side line, another group pushing the right. But also, it's not too bad if you guys will be looking for any TP play in here and try to just go from the power position right away. This can also be okay, but yeah, obviously we not maybe playing as a team here, it's just ranked, so you kind of have to do stuff based on what your team does too. But if they just push, then probably taking an angle can be quite good, especially whenever you see Penny and just any sort of brawler. If they in the choke, I think it's complicated. You just need to compare to compositions and see what you're leaning towards. Maybe the two questions for you to ask, in my opinion, is usually how deep you can go with the angles. Do you kind of play, let's just say, it's going to be one way or another. Are we going to play more stacked in together, or are we going to be taking harder
Charge
angles in a way?
complete.
Okay, this is also my charge. If you guys hear that, it's just my headset. Sorry. Now, yeah. So it's a stacked, or are we also taking more deeper angles? So in a way, I just call it a soft angles or hard angles. That's how I usually like to call it. You want to compare two compositions and then take the direction. And I think with this comp in here, you need to take slightly harder angles, try to surround the enemy a little bit more. This is the first question you can ask yourself. Just what are you trying to do? And yeah, second is just what range we play, really. I think with this composition, well, it's kind of feels that mostly going for the shorter range fights, but you guys also have some poke capabilities too. If I compare two teams, well, I think it's just kind of go for the slow fight at the start, and then after that, if you're able to force out anything big, then you guys can look for the engagement, to be honest. But yeah, let's see how it plays out. Not sure. Okay, going from the side off angle on the left side. Yeah, the both tanks on the main is gonna be really difficult if everybody is approaching from here. I think this left lane is also not bad a lot of the times. If you guys able to just go around this, which you can, to be honest. It's just something you need to be careful with is the penny mines, yeah, all the VAPs in here, because they might be exactly marking the angles in here. Okay. Sure, we're taking the slide off angle on the left though. You know, let's see how it turns out after. Go for the pressure. It's all good. And destroy the penny. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think it's really, you just need to get the angle and you will be farming your ultimate faster, because as you can see now, at a position where you are, it's really difficult for you to also get value with your E2. Maybe if you do end up playing in here, if you really want to play for more frontline war, then maybe there's going to be a different character we need to play at the moment. Some sort of more longer range, which likes to take softer angles. I don't know, anything, honestly, which just does poke damage from far, whatever you prefer. So you build the ultimate charge from here, and this can also be okay. Or, well, in our case of playing Star-Lord, they just try to take deeper angle. There's a high chance for you to farm the ultimate, and what's more important is that it's going to be relatively easy for you to stay alive. Well, the only thing you need to be aware of though is if your team is pushing. But if they do, overall it should be okay. Yeah, you just kind of synchronize the pressure with them, so all the attention is not going towards you. You're taking advantage of the E more, farming your ultimate this way more. It should be good. Yeah, it's just E, it's so important to use it to farm the ult charge. It's just so quick in terms of allowing you to build that too. Okay, well, teammates doing all that stuff with the ultimates. I don't think it's gonna do too much at this point. Yeah, you guys might struggle on here. And this is 1-for-1 ultimate too. I think you need to be more careful. If you starting with this, it's just slight anticipation on what they might be able to farm. There's been 1 minute fight, right? So it's been pretty long one, and you know what kind of ultimate might come in the fight. You need to be more careful. Obviously, take advantage of your ultimate, but also understand what's gonna come in next. So you're gonna have an escape route, and you can play slower, because right now there's no way you can play slower when you try to commit, go forward. Well, it's understandable why. Yeah, because our ultimate, the Gambit, is using that. But, you know, they might answer with something. So you need to prepare for playing slow. And playing slow means that you kind of go towards the cover, you give up a little bit more space. And your case is going to be play cover, destroy this, and probably try to fight afterwards, I think. But because we make that big commitment, they just are gonna destroy you. Yeah, it's like we talked about the Angela, trap the enemy in your space. So they sort of trapped in you in that space where they have an advantage now with all those ultimates. So we need to be mindful about those, it feels. Yeah, does all of it make sense, by the way? Or do you have any questions about this?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm looking at the boxes when they put the rocket roll. I'm looking at the boxes right beside me, and then it's like, yeah, that would have been perfect to just stay there.
Yeah, it's just kind of always, they might catch you the awkward moments, but so they will not do so. You need to be anticipating. I remember in our first VOD in Invis, we talked about that a lot. You try to anticipate what threats coming in, and tracking ultimates is just it's a big thing. It's a big layer of that too. If I know what ultimate comes in, then I can not only try to protect myself, but I can also find ways to bait that out too. Maybe with your own proactive play. I don't know. Maybe there's something what we can try to do. Go deeper on the angle. Try to target that person. Maybe try to also synchronize with your team in terms of the pressure. Honestly, I really would like the TP play in here for some. I'm not sure your team. Well, you're strange. I guess I understand. Well, maybe they think, okay, let's try to walk in. Then we use the TP play after to just contest the point. But I think it's pretty tough, especially if you guys know that they run Penny. They have better point control than this character, so it will be really tough to just go on the point right away with the TP. To be honest, and yeah, if you can call this out, I know that sometimes it's not the most useful though. But yeah, if you can call this out, I think this is great. Time to just go for the angles right away. This can solve their team a little bit. That they have the better point control. They all stack point too. Yeah, really low uptime with the. This is what it feels like. Yeah, and it's not just go in and use the. I think we need to set up for it, so it will be easier. We eventually found the ultimate, but in my opinion, you could have 2 ultimates already if there would be high uptime and just like we said about reading the tempo of the fight too. Yeah, well, they have something to respond to. Sure, the Magneto ultimate's classic one. And unfortunately, your Thor gets picked off. Trying to play it here though. By the way, this location here is really great, and most of the time trying to just cut off the enemy, kind of use the E in here is one of the chokes where most of the supports are falling back to. I think if you're able to exactly set up before the fight and look for the pressure in here, it's gonna just do so much. It's not as easy when you go on the point though. You just right away go from here on the point, but whenever you time the pressure with your team, kind of be patient, set up, and then after that go for the E on the back line, which usually likes to kite towards here. That's really good. By the way, you know what I recommend to watch? There's one. Yeah, we did one VOD review, and we talked about the Star-Lord. It's been in masterclass of how to carry in DPS, I believe. There's the game we watched on Sinatra. Sinatra, if you guys know, they really, it's for anyone else also. They if you guys don't know, they've been playing in Overwatch League quite a lot. They also been champion in Valorant, doing quite well in there, and now in Amaro Rouse they've been playing quite okay Star-Lord. By the way, their character back in the days, the what's called the signature character, has been Tracer. So there are a lot of similarities with just how they play the Star-Lord. I think just watching a little bit of his gameplay too, and seeing the uptime with the ease, how they go in, how they constantly stay in the angle, this can give you a lot of the insight on the timing too. Maybe you can try to just go on the masterclass and search for that, or just in case if you want me to, I can send you the direct link to just message me. I may find some of the VODs I usually saving, and I record in the games too, so I can show those in the classes or maybe in the one-on-ones. So yeah, yeah, for the most part, That's it. That's what I think you could be doing better in overtime. Well, number one thing, because this is the only stuff we can control, is making sure that you have high uptime with these through better positioning, going on the angles, even though it's well, it's difficult here. You have this overtime, yeah, those last minutes of push, but still, I think this is valuable to do, especially based on team composition you play with and against. Yeah, you just value the angles more, in my opinion, compared to the enemy team. The enemy team have more point control, and they play more stacked in, kind of. Well, not necessarily all stacked in one place. Yeah, they maybe still can take angles, but you just better taking angles overall, in my opinion. With all the Phoenix, you, Thor, even Strange, it just feels slightly better. And after that, you can exactly go for the try to read the ultimates. This will help out you too. Do I go in? Do I go out? And try to anticipate with what's coming up next, so you can play slow or faster if there's nothing. What's gonna be on their side? That's how I would put it. Okay, yeah, that's one thing for what, well, I guess multiple, well, kind of three things for what you can control, and something what's gonna be harder to control is try to communicate with your team, maybe call out the specific play. I really like the idea of the strange TP, honestly, especially because it gives you better map control too, so maybe calling this out might be worth it, in my opinion. You just need to be creative with that, and not all stacked in one place after the TP, but yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. Yeah, do you have any questions, or does everything make sense?
No, all good.
Okay, perfect. If there are gonna be any more questions later, let me know. But for now, I think we're good to end this what review, and yeah, we'll upload everything on the academy. It will be there, and I will see everyone later. I will try to do the masterclass. It might be on maybe how to play certain composition. I remember we done the class on how to play Brawl. Maybe I will talk about the compositions more. Or actually we'll do one more map guide. I remember we done one on the previous month, so maybe it's worth it to just look for another one too. Why not? It's been pretty fun to do as well. Alright, then I will see everybody later. Good luck in your games, and yeah, I will see everyone later.
See you.
Yeah, bye bye guys.
Later.